Hey, my goodness, what is this guy up to now? Anyway, in the last 10 days I've been doing a lot of research on rocket stoves and biogasifiers and the different types of brick stoves and cob stoves. And I was hoping to combine a few different technologies together to where I could actually make wood gas to try out on the Joe pipe. So this is what I come up with. I purchased this can for this paint can, 1 gallon paint can. I think I paid about $6 for it or something like that. And that's the inside. It's all steel bottom. And so what I like to do is use this for the outer case. And maybe this cup here, you can see it's pretty close to being to the top, just about maybe ½ inch difference. And I would like to use this as the firebox. This would be the actual size of the firebox, but it would probably make the bottom a little bit shorter, kind of shrink this down. And this is my first attempt. I'm going to call this the Joe stove, to go with the Joe pipe. And if you can envision, well, I'll take this out again. If you can envision this being made out of castable, so I believe castable will be the way to go with this. And so this would be the the firebox. And so what you would do, you would turn this. I guess you would actually, pour some plaster of Paris and zone light in there to, or take a mold from the outside. Probably take a mold from the outside and make a plaster of Paris centerpiece. So you would actually, take this cup and you would cast it and shape it to the size that you want. And on the, so you just lay that part apart, lay that centerpiece aside, and then you would take some slips of wood, say 1.5 by 12 inches, and make a little box, and you pour it with plaster and put maybe some marbles in the bottom or something like that, and force this into the bottom part of the mold. So what you're actually doing, you're taking an imprint of the bottom. So this second mold would actually be the top of the firebox. So if you had the second mold here, and you take this finished mold here, and you lay it out like that, and then you would be ready. That would be your center cast, right? It's been a long time since I've done casting. I loved it in school. I was pretty good at it in high school. And so you got your male mold here, and so the next step would be to you want to cast the outside. You could use a can configuration, but what I might do is actually make a castable, like a split casting, maybe a 3-piece split casting that, from this here. Then I could actually shape the outside of the firebox itself, and add. What I'm hoping to do is turn this the right way up. Is add a little firebox here, so it can be side fed, so that the end of the box would come flush to the side of the 1 gallon can. So you could actually put your wood into the side, or drop in your wood pellets. And what I'm planning to do on the base here is make a little ash pit where you could actually take like a 3/8 or maybe ½ inch piece of round pipe and push the ashes through. So this would actually be nosed out to come to the edge of this here, and so the the ash pit would be exposed, like the port for it. Then you just use it to clean it out, right? And something like that. Anyway, you might have to cut it down a bit in order to fit it in, but I think it's going to work. And so that would allow, around the ash pit, you would allow the air to come up through a series of holes through the base and through the side. And you could actually drop a little circle piece in here, like a donut piece, to place your grate, and where your wood would drop in and your coals would drop down into here, right? So this would be the hot part of the stove, and of the Joe stove, and here you would have your holes ported to the side to transfer your wood gas from here up to the top here. And remember that this whole thing would be suspended, within the 1 gallon can. So the wood smoke would come up here, then go into here, and but you'll be able to concentrate your heat. And you would have underneath the 1 gallon can, you would have your fan at the same time. And so the reason for all this is that with the side feed and top feed, you can go either way. If you want to turn this little stove into a downdraft gasifier, all you would do is have your air going in through the feed port here, and so that air would push the wood gas down through the coals, and that's going to crack it a little better, right? And then where it would come up to the side. So I put a lot of thought into this, and I'm going to have to look for a big bag of plaster of Paris and zonolite to make the molds. And the good thing about it is, if this works, if this castable rocket stove works, and you can perfect it because you're using plaster of Paris, and once you got the master mold made, you can make, say, half a dozen molds, and you could make the product available. And all you have to do is you just pick up the can, and I could make the mold for you and send it to you, through a UPS or whatever. But you would have something that's going to be would last for a long time. It's going to last for years and years, and you're not going to have to worry about it burning out. And you could take the next step to actually build a little case around this, and so you have a nice solid top, and actually in the poured casting you would have little bumps here, cut into the casting, so you'd actually put a frying pan or whatever on there. And this should be quite a bit hotter than just a conventional two-piece rocket stove made out of cans. And the castable is expensive. It's difficult to work with because of the high density of the material, and that's the reason for thinking about going to making a poured casting. And then you still have to tamp all your castable in place. And but you might see temperatures exceed 2,000, 2,200 degrees, and that's going to be just perfect for being able to crack the wood gas. Okay, this is Joshua with the outline of the rocket stove. This will be my first attempt, and hopefully the rocket stove is going to work in the normal sense of the word, but also where I could have the Joe pipe on top, where you could take the wood gas to see if it's going to burn. And that's the big thing, right? And if the Joe pipe is able to burn the wood gas, then you would have a endless supply of super hot air. And if you got air in excess of 2,000 degrees and lots of it, you can do much more than just cook. You could bake, you can make steam just by, well, I'll give you an example. Well, maybe we don't have the time, but just you can take the air and pump it through whatever you want to heat it, and so you have like a plug and play. Okay, this is my Joe stove intro.